This Land is Your Land. Words and music by Woody Guthrie. Paintings by Kathy Jacobson.
As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. I've roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts. And all around me a voice was sounding, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, as the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said no trespassing. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I'd seen my people as they stood there hungry. And I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can ever make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Woody Guthrie was born on July 14, 1912, in the dusty little town of Okemah, Oklahoma. Charlie and Nora Guthrie named their son Woodrow Wilson, but everyone called him plain old Woody. When Woody was 6, his family started having some hard luck. Their new house burned down, and a few years later, Woody's sister died in a fire. His mother got sick and had to live in a hospital. When Woody was 17, he moved to Texas. In flat, windy Pampa, he found an old guitar and learned to play. He liked to sing ballads, long songs that tell a story. He formed a band with some friends and started writing songs about his experiences and the folks he met along the way. In 1929, people everywhere faced hard times. They called this period the Great Depression. In Texas, it stopped raining. Fierce winds piled dust over the land. The farms around Pampa dried up and blowed away. Someone said it looked like a big dust bowl, and it did. Lots of folks in that dust bowl packed up and headed for California, looking for jobs and new homes. Woody headed west too, hitching rides and hopping freight trains when he could. California was filling up with people from Oklahoma, Texas, and other states. These travelers were called migrants or Okies. The migrants ended up in crowded camps. Their homes were tents and small rooms pieced together from scraps. And there weren't enough jobs to go around. In California, Woody got a job singing on the radio. His show was popular in the migrant camps. After visiting the camps himself, Woody started writing songs about the migrants, their hard luck, and their courage. In 1940, when he was 28, Woody went to New York City. He sang for factory workers trying to get better working conditions and higher pay. He sang on street corners with new friends like Pete Seeger and Leadbelly. He began to record his songs, including a new one called This Land Is Your Land. He also wrote a book about his life titled Bound for Glory. When World War II broke out, Woody sailed to Europe with the Merchant Marine on large ships carrying supplies and soldiers. After the war, he came home and wrote children's songs for his little daughter Kathy and her friends. Kids were some of Woody's favorite audiences. In 1952, Woody learned he had Huntington's disease. He was 40 years old. He wrote, played his guitar, and visited friends and family a few more years, but finally went to live in a hospital. By the time he died in 1967, Woody had written more than 1,000 songs, including the classics Deportee, Pastures of Plenty, and Roll on Columbia. 2 novels based on his life, and hundreds of stories. Because he always spoke out for people of all colors and races, especially the poor, he inspired many musicians to do the same. "Stick up for what you know is right," Woody wrote. "This land was made for you and me."
This land is your land, and this land is my land, from the California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.